Hi, my name is Paul Meads and I'm the director of Meads Group, an accounting practice based in Watford looking after SMEs in the UK. And I thought I'd record this short video just to share with you a brief experience and a story that I've got to tell from a recent trip I had to Russia. Now, my wife is from Russia, so I've been there a few times, but a recent experience inspired me just to record this small video as a challenge to banks, credit card companies and retailers on the high street. This is what happened. So I went to a shopping mall with my wife, and while we were there, she decided, although she probably knew in advance, she needed a new pair of shoes. So we went to a few different shops, and once we settled on the pair of shoes that she wanted, I said I'd buy them. At the counter, I got my credit card, and the credit card machine was put in front of me, and I tapped the credit card, paid for the shoes, the receipt was printed out, went in the bag, and we left. Now at that point, I didn't really particularly think much more about it. And it's only actually in reflection that I've thought, hold on a minute, in the UK, we're missing a really big trick that I think they've got right in Russia about the purchasing experience. And it's this. When I paid for the shoes, I tapped my card. I didn't have to think, okay, how many rubles is it that's contactless? And I wouldn't have to think about that in any other country. Even in the UK, I think we started contactless at £20 as a transaction amount, and it's now 30. I didn't have to think about that because I tapped the card. The machine then told me that it was above the contactless limit, so I typed my PIN in. That is actually taking the burden and stress away from me as part of the shopping experience, having to think about what is that amount again that's contactless. It also means I didn't have to tap the card and then have a member of staff say, oh no sir, it's above the contactless limit, and interrupt somebody else's time. The machine did it for me. It's like a calculator. They're good with numbers. Let's use them accordingly. So that was the first point. The second point is this. What then happened was the credit card machine printed out the receipt. Now, interestingly, in Russia, the first receipt that comes out is the customer copy. So therefore, I don't now have to wait for the second copy to come out, which is normally in the UK, first copy merchant copy or retailer, second copy for the customer. I didn't have to stand and wait for two printouts. Got the first one, went in the bag, and I was off. Now, if I didn't even want the receipt, the minute it said approved on the credit card machine, I can leave. So therefore, my experience of buying something is that much quicker. And the third point, perhaps the most significant on reflection, was security. By just tapping my card, what actually happened was I took my wallet from my back pocket, took the card out, tapped it on the machine, put the card straight back in the wallet and put it back in my pocket. I then typed in the PIN number. Now this meant that nobody else touched my credit card. So I had no concern that my credit card might be dropped down behind a counter, cloned or scanned by a member of staff. It never even left my physical hand. I also didn't therefore have to try to remember to take my card back. And for anybody that's ever left the shop and forgotten to get the card back from the retailer, you'll know exactly what that feels like. So from a security aspect, I feel it's a massive advantage. Just to tap your card and type in the PIN if the amount is over the contactless amount. Of course, this therefore has made me think of some other things now which could have an impact on this. And that's to say, if you can serve that many more customers in a short amount of time, well, you can sell more. Or you can reduce the time for queuing. And perhaps you might be able to reduce the size of a credit card machine if it doesn't have to be so elaborate and have so many options. And if you can reduce the size of the credit card machine, does that mean you can now reduce the amount of plastic that's used in order to build a machine? Obviously, plastic is very much in the media at the moment. And if you are going to reduce the size of the machines, does that reduce the cost that it takes to make them? Does that reduce the carbon footprint of a credit card company that actually physically build these machines? And that was my takeaway from my trip to Russia that I just thought I'd share with you. I hope you enjoyed the story. Thanks.